Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and today uh, I thought that it might be helpful to just run over a couple things about the Workhorse vacuum, which I've been using the last week and a half, I guess now. And somebody had asked a question about maintenance on this vacuum, so I thought I'd just run through a few things that I've been doing since I got it. Obviously, I haven't had it very long, and but I am definitely really liking it. If you've been watching my channel, you've seen a number of videos showing this vacuum in action, and it is very impressive. So I've used it on almost every job that I've done since I've got it. And there's a couple of things that I've learned about it. Nothing really detrimental, just understanding how it works and how to work with it, and how to use it to its greatest advantage. So I'll just show you a couple of things. And the most obvious thing for me that I've done is, I'll just take the wire off out of the way, is I put this is actually a Kirby tube, and it just happens to clip on here very easily. And the hose, which by the way is really quite stretchy, don't pull the vacuum off the thing here, it works fine. And of course, to make the hose work, there's a valve here you turn, and it directs the suction to come to the hose. Just try to remember to put it back onto the floor, which I've forgotten to do a couple of times, but then caught myself. But anyway, then when you've got the Kirby tube in there, or when I've got it in there, anyway, hose just pops on there, and it just works just fine, almost like it was made for it. Almost. It hasn't fallen off or anything, so it's working well. And when I'm doing in a bedroom or whatever, I need to do the edges, I can just flip the valve there and pop the pipe off and easily do it, because that seems to work fine. Other than that, what I'll do is I'll just kind of go through what I do to maintain this vacuum. I do clean it out every day. I understand that it's really important to have your vacuum in top operating condition all the time, so there's a few things that I will do when I bring it home. Sometimes even during the day. I've never actually had to wash it out or anything like that, but I'll show you what I do with the filter back here, because I've had to deal with that a couple times. But anyway, so I've got it home. This, I used it on Friday, Thursday actually, was the last time I used it. So, and I haven't cleaned it out since then, so let's just have a look. I mean, other than dumping it out, I haven't actually washed it out. So you undo there's a clasp right here, or a lock, I guess, locking mechanism, and you just detach that, and the canister just drops down. So I did dump it out, but there's always a little bit of dust left in there. After every job, I'll dump it out and I continue on. I don't have to do any more than that, but during the day, that is. But I do wash this thing out every day when I get it home, so I will do that. And just one thing to point out is that this thing right here actually does pop off. So I'm just going to set that in here into the sink and get the water running, because I'm gonna clean it. Actually, it does have a bit of an odor in there, so you don't want that. You don't want that to build up. This cone here actually just detaches, just turn, it drops down. So I'm going to be rinsing that out as well. And the other thing I haven't had any issue with this thing yet, but this is the valve that directs the air to the foot, I guess you call it, or to the hose. And you can see in there, if there was a clog, you could see it, but it does come off very easily. And there's nothing in there. So I'll just, there's a gasket there. Make sure your gasket doesn't get messed up, because that'll cause you a loss of performance. So we'll, let's see, yeah, set that back on there. Okay. And the other thing is, just turn off the water for now. Let's let it sit there for a minute while I do this. Now the other thing is this filter system right here. Now on those videos you've watched where I've been picking up all that incredible amount of junk, and particularly the skin cells, I have a couple of times I've stopped halfway through the job. I noticed, I can tell when the airflow really starts to suddenly drop, and it's time then to pop this open. It's a bit tight, and this has been just really clogged up with skin, and I just pull this off, and then you can wash this out. You know, go find a sink and give it a good cleaning out. This isn't bad right now, but I've had to do that a couple of times on the job. I'm going to be carrying a couple of extra ones when I've got them on order. This is the one that it came with, and it didn't come with any extras, so I've got a couple of extras on order, so I could just change it on the job and continue on. But it's not a big deal to actually just rinse it out like that, and then take a spotting towel and give it a good squeeze out, making sure you're not gonna, if you're gonna do this on the job, you're gonna be wanting to make sure you don't have any moisture in there to suck through the motor, because you're gonna put it back together and turn it on right away. And there's a secondary filter right here, and this is what it did look like. So there's a big difference there. So I'm going to change this, and by the way, this isn't the original filter that came with the machine. I'll put that in there. It comes with one filter. So what I did is I went and got myself I had a Kirby Centria bag, and I just cut it using this as a template, and I just made up these secondary filters using the Kirby Centria filter. So I'm going to put that back in place. Make sure that it's fold it over there. Okay. Oh, come on, get in there. There we go. And turn that off now. And then I can just put that like so. And it, you know, after I squeezed it out with the towel there, it's dry already. So, I mean, there's maybe a slight amount of moisture there, but I haven't had an issue with it yet. And we'll stick that, oh, and I'm going to try something else here. I'm just going to stick this thing on here. This is actually, if you take a look at the light there, you can see that it's actually very porous. I'm just going to stick this on here this week, and I'm going to see if that'll actually maybe catch some of that skin before it gets into this filter, and I can just pop that off and just maybe knock it off, or you know, put it in the sink, and maybe even help with this, keeping this filter cleaner. we'll see. I'll give it a try. It's easy to just put it in there. I think it'll work. That's actually, in case you're wondering what it is, it's one of those. So it's just a filtering material. It's actually a scrub pad, but anyway, see if that fits. I don't know if it will. I'll just, seems to work. Okay, we'll give it a try. Little experiment. Okay, now the next thing that we deal with is the brush roll. Now, normally, you're going to be able to just look in there and see whether or not there's any junk in there. There's a little bit in here. You can, use a screwdriver or something and clean that out, but at the end of the day, I'm going to actually open it up. There's just 2 screws that hold it. And this just kind of pops off. And there's a fair amount of junk in here, so we're gonna pop the brush roll out. Easy to do. And there's a little bit of stuff catching in here. Now, I'll get to that in a sec. I'll just show you this thing here. This I'm going to just rinse it out on the... I've got the sink right here, so that's handy for me to do. Just rinse that out over there. Plunk it there for a minute. And now you could just use a brush like this, and especially if you have to deal with this during the day, just use your little hand brush and get that out of there. And this hose actually pops off here quite easily. Pull that, famous last words. There we go. That hose pops off. And you see there's a bit of junk there. But if need be, I've done this a few times already now, so not a big deal. Pull that out of there into the garbage can. But there's 2 screws here. Now you don't have to do this, but you can undo these 2 screws. And then this just pops off of here. So, easy for me to do this because I got the sink right here. So I'm just going to run a little bit of water through here and clean it up a little bit. You could just wipe it out with a damp rag in the machine too, of course, I guess. And I'll put this back. Very easy to do. Just check. There's just a little bit of junk in that hose there, just a little bit. Looking good. So, and that just sort of slides in to this little tube down there. It just fits in there nice and easy like. And then we're going to park that like that. And this goes in here. And that's there. It's really quite simple, but again, you don't have to take that out. You can just do that with a, like I said, with a brushy or a damp towel. But if need be, it's easy. You can see it's easy to get at that. Pretty simple. Make sure it's in there nicely and properly. I'm just gonna wipe inside of here. It won't be actually used till tomorrow. I'm doing this on Sunday, so it'll be all dried out in there. Of course, here's the belt. I have some belts on order. Should be here within a week, because they won't last forever, that's for sure. Belts do wear. They're inexpensive and easy to change. So let's just rinse the bottom plate off a little bit. I think that this bottom plate actually has a lot to do with why this vacuum works so well. I can't completely explain why this vacuum works so well, because I know other vacuums may have more power, but it's just the way this thing works, I guess. I'm not really sure what the secret is, but the results are quite spectacular anyway. I'll just take this thread off of here. Yeah, or, actually, I guess maybe it's a long hair. Yep, put that in there. And so the brush roll is easy to put in. Just park it over put the belt over the end there. And then put that in place. Make sure you're spinning freely. Put the bottom plate on. Hook it in at the front. It should pretty easily go in place. Snap. There we go. A couple of screws. So when you're vacuuming, make sure that you do understand that on the left side of the vacuum, you've got a fairly wide distance before you actually get to the suction. Just remember that when you're going up against a wall. So in other words, the right side gets closer to the wall than the left. Okay, so the bottom, that part is done. So I'm just going to get that rinsed out. I'm actually going to, this thing actually does come off. You don't have to take it off, I don't think, but anyway. Make sure I get it back in place. I can feel it. I think push it down in place. It's there we go. There. I think that got it. No, if I was going to be using the vacuum right away, then I would dry it out, but it's going to sit here overnight anyway, but I'll dry it out anyway. Because I want to just show you how I get it all back together. So now this piece sits down at the bottom, and when you do dump it out, you'll find that sometimes there's dust and junk that gets in the bottom there. I just turn it upside down and give it a wrap, and it usually drops out pretty easy. This is the actual, I think this is the heart of the whole system, with this these slots here that the air comes in, and it does the cyclonic thing here. You probably can't see in here, but down on the bottom there, there's a tube that goes down about I think about this far, and however exactly that works, I don't know exactly, but it obviously spins the air around and throws the heavier particulates out into the can. But anyway, I do rinse this thing out, because if you did get something clogged in there, that's going to interfere with the whole process. So just bear that in mind. You can see at the bottom coming out here. Oh, there it is, actually. Yeah. So, even though when you look down here, you can't see those slots, you see. So however Mr. Dyson figured this thing out, there is an inner tube that will drop junk down into the center of this, and but then this air coming in is spinning around, and I think the actual suction is coming up here is how it works. But anyway, that's not it doesn't matter, I guess, as long as it works. So that's that. And we'll take a look up here. I don't know if you can see that, but this hooks up into the top there, and it does so very simply. There we go. And just locks in place. Then this goes in place. And the it's quite centered in there. That's why. There we go. So this, the inner cone has to fit into the bottom part there, and then we turn that slightly so that it hooks right here, and then the latch at the back goes up and it's ready to roll. So let's say we vacuum the floor right here a little bit. Got the hose working. So there we go, and you got to see how I used the wand, and it works fine. And that's basically what I do to take care of the vacuum. It's not a good idea to leave your vacuum for too many days without making sure everything's working 100%, because when you're vacuuming up lots of junk and debris, it's not uncommon to find something might get stuck in there and be affecting your performance, and you don't even realize it. So over the years I've learned that it's you don't win by ignoring your vacuum. It causes all kinds of problems. So anyway, that's what I would do every day to take care of the Workhorse, and make sure it's running in tip-top condition, and it'll perform as it's supposed to every day, reliably. And so far I am definitely really liking this vacuum. It certainly is a lot of fun to use. It's interesting to see all the crap coming in. So anyway, I thought you might find that interesting, that what I do every day to take care of the vacuum and to keep it running in tip-top condition. So anyway, have a good day.